Oh, afternoon, guys. How is everybody tonight? Hello, hello. How is everyone this beautiful evening? All right, I'm giving it a few minutes, guys. So let me zoom. Okay, good. We're doing great. All right, guys. So we're here on day 2 of the master class, and I'm so glad that y'all are able to join me. And those that was not here yesterday, we had covered about the target market. And so what we're going to do today is actually we're going to be talking about how to pick the perfect customer while you are, looking for them. So did anybody take the color wheel? Did they take the test? Was you surprised at your test after you took it?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
I could see you as a red. I knew you was a red girl. I was quite surprised at some because I thought that I was more tendency to red, but I am more a tendency to yellow a little bit. And that's possibly the reason why I attract so many yellows to me is because I talk their same language, right? So it has a lot to do with the understanding of the colors of how you approach those. So I did a little studying up on it today, and it was just an amazing process. So anybody else want to share before we get started? Oh, y'all are so quiet. Yes, good. Okay, good. Okay, so what we're going to do today is, go ahead and mute yourself. I'm going to mute everybody out so that we'll have opening it up, question and answers at the end of the class. So really what we're going to be covering today is really about who your perfect target is, okay? Usually, when you ask the target, people about your target market, most times they can pretty much come up with, who they want to sell with, but what happens is they usually get frustrated when it comes to really figuring out that dream customer, and how to get those customers to visit their website, their offer, their blog, wherever the possibility. And I love this saying is that those that know fishing, okay, is that when you're fishing, and if you're a bass fisherman, okay, everybody knows about bass fishing, right? They like a particular lure, right? And if you use that particular lure, they're going to jump out of that water to grab that bait, and you're going to be hooked, okay? Marketing is the same concept, basically. So if you're just casting your net out into the ocean or the sea or the pond or wherever you want to fish, then you're just hoping to get that particular fish and the right customer. But when you actually hone in on that particular fish and understand what his likes, traits, and his preferences, you're going to be able to cast that line, catch that fish, and eat for a meal that night. So basically, it's the same thing. So the process of getting people to your offer, your page, is really called driving traffic. And I'm sure that y'all are familiar with that. But it really counts that you understand it, the inside the market, inside and out. Okay, so most businesses, you target market is going to be responsible for your business to either be successful or it's going to be failure. Okay, so you choose the wrong market, you're going to flounder. If you fail to understand that target market and you reach it entirely, you're going to struggle with many of the meaningful process of actually pulling them to. Hence, that's one of the reasons why y'all joined me on this, is to understand that process of pulling those customers to you. But to understand your target market, you really have to go a little deeper. You have to do a little marketing resources. And there's secondary resources like surveys and interviews and things that can help you along this way. But the first thing of all, I've got 10 questions that you really need to ask yourself when you're trying to determine your target market. Okay. The very first one is, what demographics do they belong in? Okay. Target demographic and target marketing, they sometimes use interchangeable. Okay. And so let me, whoever just come on, Angie, will you mute yourself, hon? Angel. There we go. A little bit better. Sorry about that. Okay, so the demographic is really about, the current identification. That could be their sex, their age, their race, stuff like that. That's demographics, okay? Where do they live? That's geographic. A lot of businesses, key to their success is that they are in a certain location. But for most of us on the internet, the geographic is kind of unlimited. So you really have to determine where you want to have that demographic. Do you want someone close, or does it really matter to you? How do they live their lives? Think about what their hobbies that they have, how they spend their free time. Okay. How much money do they make? The income level will define whether if someone can or cannot be a paying customer. Okay, that is very critical, because if you just say, I want anybody that can buy my program, if you don't put a number on it, the universe is going to send you broke people all day long. I guarantee you, guys. So put a number on it, okay? So then the next one, number 5, is, in what industry do they work? Okay, is it the health and wellness? Is it the money making? Is it real estate? Whatever. Are you targeting the people in that certain occupation? Okay, my primary target is internet marketers. If they do not meet that criteria, I move on. Okay, so it's critical that you ask these questions. Okay, number 6 is, what's important to them? Think about the market, their value, their beliefs. What can they live? What can they not live without? Okay. Number 7 is, how do they get their information? This could delegate between news. Do they get it from their ads? Do they research Google's? Do they get it from their information from your company? Or where are they getting their information? Okay, number 8 is, who is important to them? Okay, so that goes to, their following. Who are they following? The gurus, their referrals, their peer support, right? This is a critical factor in business growth. Who close to them is their target market? How can you reach them? Okay. Number 9 is, how do they communicate? Okay, and guys, I know that I'm going pretty fast, but I'm going to drop the recording, so you will have these questions that you can answer. So never fear. I'm going a little fast, but I want y'all to be aware that they will have some notes in this. Okay, so then on how do they communicate, because this will help you tremendously understand what kind of lingo do they prefer to talk with. And if you notice in marketing, if you're talking for someone about blogging, you're going to talk to them different about blogging versus SEO, okay, or organic marketing versus paid ads, okay? So there's certain lingos that you need to be aware of that your target market uses on a regular basis so that you can communicate with them properly, okay? Then the last one, the number 10, and which is really the biggest one, is what problems are they facing? Okay. Try to keep this question into your realm of experience and make a list of solutions that is already existing and where they come up short with it. Okay. One of the highest things that I use is really about generating leads to your offer. That is one existing problem in our market that everybody has problems with, just about. Okay, so it's a highly demanded area in our niche that I'm trying to fill. Okay, so when you uncover all of those 10 questions, you're walking away with a better understanding of your key demographics and how to get people to try, that you're trying to convince to come into your products or your services. Okay, so now let me talk about where these people hanging out to, because not only do you have to understand who you're looking for, but now we're going to go into where they're hanging out, because that's more, this is where we're going to be fishing. Okay, people always ask me to attract more high quality traffic. But before we address to this, I want you guys to understand the concept of congregation, okay? And how important that little coolest thing that the internet provides is the power of congregation, okay? It seems unimportant, like groups that people gather in, those little corners of the internet that makes it possible for people like me and yourself to go into business quickly and be successful without all of those barriers and expensive hurdles that traditional media actually does, if you understand this concept, okay? So when I say the word congregation, what is the first thing that pops into y'all's mind? Most of us, okay, most of us, when I say congregation, it pops into church, right? That's the first congregation that comes to church. Okay, the church is really just a group of people who gather together based on a similar belief, value, and ideas. Okay, now my point is that I'm not trying to teach y'all to sell to church people or their congregation. What my point is, I want you to understand the power of the congregation, because this is the main reason the internet is such an amazing tool for our businesses, okay? Prior to the internet, it was hard for people to gather around in congregation together. I mean, we was limited to our geographics, our communication through snail mail and phone calls, right? But as the internet has opened up, it's made unlimited possibilities. Think about this. Now, just in 20, God, I'm dating myself, but in 35 years ago, when I was in high school, just for an example, is that there was 4 or 5 kids in my grade school, my class, personally, that we loved to get together on the weekend to play video games. I mean, I love Pac-Man. And we always looked forward to the weekend so my mom could take us down to the skating ring and leave us that night to hang out and really enjoy the activities that we had. Okay. And in that time, there was a whole bunch of other kids that was doing the exact same thing, and they was not even aware that there was other ones around. Okay. Now, having fast forwarded to the internet, okay, that eliminates this, because those 5 kids or 5 or 6 kids that congregate in high school and they talk about video games, what are they doing? They're coming online now and they're playing with people all over the world. So they're congregating. So my point is that if I had a product to sell to that congregation, to people that would love gaming, then it would be easy for me to go online to find out where they're at and put a message in front of them to help them move into my product or services. Okay? So while you're going through this, the 2 questions that you need to ask yourself as you're going through that: who is your target market and what are you trying to solve for them? Okay, be very specific with these questions, because I don't want you to come up with the traditional, straightforward demographic like my target market is a woman aged 35 to 45 who makes $50,000 a year. That's a great target, but it doesn't tell us anything. Okay, so that's, for a long time, that's all we had to work with. But remember yesterday when I told you that Facebook knows everything about us? I mean, what we like, what we don't like, where we like to go. You know, by answering those 10 questions that I just gave you, you're already looking for your target, and you already know the perfect places for them to hang out. Okay, your job as marketers is to create that hyper-targeting messages that you know that your target market inside and out. And because you're knowing that understanding, you're moving into a successful businesses to get inside your customer's mind to find out what individually care about. What are their pains? What are those, some of those questions? So here's an example. If I'm looking for someone to make money, how to make money, okay, I go back to when I first started in the business 3 years ago. What was my desires? What was my experience? Where did I go look for the information? What phrases and words that I used to search for the internet? What blogs, articles, and magazines did I read? Okay, I try to figure out what mindset I was in at that particular time, because that was when I was in the middle of my struggles. Okay, and these are where you're going to come with your aha moments as you're coming through this. So like for me, if I had a product with lead generation, I think back to that. Who are the people that are online marketers? Where do I go to search for them? What problems do I want to solve for them? And what answers and questions can I answer for them? Okay, so I suggest you dig very deep into your own experience on your detailed a picture as clear as possible, and to get a detailed kind of inventory of what your product, what your services can do to help your people move into the next phase by selling them. Okay, remember, your target market is really made up of real people, and you really need to look at their behavior. Where do they hang out online? Where do they spend their time reading? What email marketing or email newsletters that they may be subscribed to? What blogs? Are they even on Facebook? Okay, or do they prefer Instagram or Twitter? Okay, these are the questions that you need to know. What keywords are they searching on Google? What books are they buying on Amazon? Amazon is a great place to do research, because all you got to do is type in what is the #1 money-making book that everybody's buying, and then you go down to the question and answer about where they're having that review, what was missing in that book or that product that they purchased that they're still looking for. They're telling you right there what they're looking for. Okay, so Amazon is a great tool to place to go. Okay, when you're answering these questions, take some time and research it. I tell you, it will be worth your time as much as you need to develop that clear picture of your ideal customer and direct their attention. Okay, here's the thing. Finding traffic on the internet is really easy as you answer these questions. Marketers try to make it overcomplicated with all this technology that is supposed to help us direct traffic to our current landing page or offer or blog or whatever. But your knowledge is your people in the market, and use the technology for your benefit. Use it to help solve these problems, find these groups. So I want to give you a list of just some groups and pages on Facebook that I like to follow, okay? Because I'm going to go to those people that support my industry, okay? And I'm on a personal development journey, so I'm looking at ones that they're in network marketing, they're talking about their mindset, they're talking about their personal development, they're on that journey. So where am I going? I'm going to Ray Higdon. I'm going to Robert Kiyosaki. I'm going to Mel Robbins. Is that her name? Yeah. Robbins, yes. I always want to call her Robinson. Danny Johnson. Okay? The Secret. The Law of Attraction. Frank Kern. Gary Vaynerchuk. Russell Brunson. Okay? If you're in health and wellness, okay, Julia Michaels, The Biggest Loser. Jillian, my bad, Jillian Michaels. Okay, try the organic food if you're into organic marketing or a healthy lifestyle. Okay, there are tons of groups. Go to meetup.com. Now, I'm not talking about the dating site. I'm talking about the networking site. Okay, there's a lot of networkers out there. And then even if you want to take some of your skills offline, then the meetup is also a place that you can network locally. Okay, remember when I'm talking about branding yourself, you're having those leadership opportunities? Just a thought, okay? If you're into travel, okay, where are we going to go? We're going to go to travelchannel.com. We're going to go to the travel channel with the particular area. If you're selling tickets or cruises to the Bahamas, then you're going to go to Travel Channel at the Bahamas or international. Okay. If you're more a writer or a blogger or an SEO, right? Then you're going to go with blogging groups, the internet marketing groups, how to make money online groups. Okay. There's tons of people into those groups, or even your local small business group. You know, one of the things that I try to help my local businesses to realize that the online world is where they need to bring their businesses to keep a steady stream of income of clients coming into their brick and mortar. So there's there's a huge potential of lead generation. You just got to be smart about it and look for the kind of not the obvious places. Okay. Again, we're looking for that small area, not this whole big pond of people. We're looking for that little bitty small fish that is struggling, that needs your help, and you writing a message to take them out of that skillet into, back into the water to actually survive. Okay. So I want to make this parable. I love parables. You know I do, if y'all was yesterday, okay? So I want you to think about the internet as like a huge mountain, okay? And your idea, your traffic is the gold inside that mountain, okay? Your job as a marketer is to find that gold and mine it. When you start mining, you dig around, you poke here, you pod here, you try to find that gold. And when there's gold in that mountain, okay, you just don't know where right now to look for. So when you're looking around, try those areas and that areas, and then all of a sudden you dig up some few nuggets. And traditionally, gold clumps together in a vein that runs through the mountain, just like a congregation. Okay, so if you find a little bit of gold and you dig a little deeper, you'll find more. And as soon you will see this vein run deep into the mountain. And if you keep on following that vein, eventually you'll find out and mine all the gold out. But luckily for us, our gold mine is unlimited due to the internet. There's unlimited possibilities there. It's worth your time to do the job by poking and prodding stage. Because if you find out exactly where your target is hanging out, then you pull that goal is a simple matter of a relative message to be put in front of them to direct them to your offer, because they're already getting to that know, like, and trust stage. So if you dig for a while, ask those critical questions. Who is your target market? And where are these people congregating? When you do a little search, you're going to hit goal. That might be an email newsletter that they're subscribed to. That's a goal vine. All you got to do is just tap into it. It could be you may buy some ads somewhere and you follow their technique, right? And you learn from that demographics, okay? You try to, entice people back to your website or your blog by using that. And then you can do even further deep, research on it. You can find a blog that they frequently follow, or even a group, like I said. Really, as an entrepreneur, guys, our job is to go out there and find that congregation. One of our primary job is to identify that vine, that vein of gold, and locate it and understand what the strategy works to move them forward. Okay? So that is really about finding your target. So what I want to do is actually go to some of the steps online. Okay? If y'all are not familiar with Facebook Analytics, the Insight, I love using this tool. And the reason why I like using this tool is simply because you can do anything in it. Okay? And then it gives you a wider variety for you to look for. Okay? And so it is, I'll shoot let's see, let me reload it. It's called Facebook Audience Insights, and I'll drop the link inside of here. So what it does is you want to set your age, right? So we're at 30. And let's just say we want to target women that are interested in business, okay? So they're interested in this, and we want to do advertisement, all right? You see how all that's changing. Let's just say that they're Tony Robbins, all right? These are the same targets that we want. Okay, so here are the page likes of this. So look at all of these top categories that these people, because Facebook has already done the research for you, these are their favorite categories that they like to look at. Look at all this: clothing store, health and wellness, all of these, right? There's 40, okay? Then here are pages that they like. All right, let's just change it up to, let's just do all. Does it change? Let's see. Yeah, you see how it changes to put news? Because a man is going to probably gravitate to more of the news. Now, I'm not saying a woman won't. Me personally, I don't care about the news. I tell my husband all the time, you just let me know what's happening and I'll react then. But so it's a certain way that your target reacts. Okay, let's just say that we want to do Eric work. Same thing. Okay, these are the pages that they like. We change to the woman. They're going to be more concerned with their health, wellness, that types of things. So is that useful, guys, to show you what I'm talking about? I mean, this is a wonderful little tool that, I mean, it's free to use. And Facebook wants you to use this because this is their gathering. I mean, people are paying them millions and millions of dollars every single year just to have this type of data available to targeting when you purchase the ads. So again, why not use the technology that is available to us that doesn't cost us a penny to understand our market? Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be doing is also going to the groups. And we'll go into even the targeting more so on on Friday, when we're talking about how you're actually looking for your target market in these types of groups that you're involved in. Because even though they have tons of people, not every one of them is going to be your ideal customer. Okay, there's a lot of people that love Tony Robbins, but I would never approach because they're not in business. Okay, so when you get, and some people are afraid to define their target so narrow that they're afraid that they're going to lose sales. But I'm here to tell you that until you do narrow it down, that you will not make sales as much as you want to, because you're all over the place. But when you have a clear picture of the people that you want to target, then it's easy, it's easy for you to find them, because then it takes me about 20 minutes to target 60 people every day on Facebook, because I have a certain criteria that I have put together, that I know that when I am targeting, I have this picture. I actually have a name, a face to the person, and I have several different avatars. I have a certain one that I talk a certain way with a man, and I have a certain way that I talk with a woman. Okay, I also talk with a different one if they're a senior versus someone that is coming into the light of the world. Okay, it also determines on what color their personality is too, because one of the color schemes, that if they're more analytic, then I'm going to talk to them more about numbers. If they're the more free, loving type of fun, the blues, then I'm going to talk about all the benefits that come along with my program. I'm not going to talk to them about compensation plans and all of the details, because they don't care about those types. Okay. Then if I talk with a red, then they're all about, show me what it is. Tell me what it is right now. Let's not beat around the bush. So I talk to them a certain way. Okay. The yellow one wants to investigate more about it. They want to know that it's a structured, a step-by-step plan that they can plug into. Okay. So again, I tell y'all, I truly believe that I've been in college for psychology, because when I understand this type of psychology with these types, it completely reformed my business into a new era for me, when I truly understood it. Okay. So is there any questions or any thoughts on what I've just showed y'all?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What were you saying? How long do you spend doing the Facebook, whatever it was, the analytics or whatever? How long you spend?
Now, as far as my target, you're talking about?
Yeah, your target, because I think you said a certain amount of time. Was it 60 minutes that you said?
I usually can do it I usually target 60 people within about 20 minutes.
60 people in 20 minutes. Okay.
Okay. And so I'm going to, at the end of this week, I'm going to actually give y'all an action plan. And it's a very simple action plan. I can give that to you right now. Okay. My action plan is that I post 1 to 3 times every single day in my newsfeed in Facebook. And the reason why I do that is because Facebook likes less now with the algorithms versus more. Okay. I post at peak times also. Peak times are from 6 to 8, noon to 2, 4 to 6. Okay. That's when the audience that are coming on to Facebook, they're either taking the breaks, they're getting their kids to school, or they're getting ready to go to work, or getting ready for their day, And then at the end, they're coming home. You know, they're preparing supper, they're watching their news, they're traveling, whatever the case may be. Okay. So those are the peak times to get your opportunity or your post to be exposed to the audience. Okay. Then the next thing that I do, I have a schedule that I follow. So I post every single day. Then I actually target my people. I reach out about 60 people, new people every single day that meet my criteria. So what am I doing? I am actively recruiting people into my business on a daily basis.
And this is from your business Facebook page that you're talking about, or your personal, the 3 times?
It's my personal page. Okay. And so what I do is then once I get them on my page, then I start pointing them to the smaller groups that I have. I have a Facebook private group, Inspiring Leaders, that I invite people to join. And then if I'm promoting this particular event, then I'm inviting them to get on the waiting list for next week's class. Or I'm inviting them to a webinar, or I'm just having a chat with them. So I reach out for 20 or 60 people. Now, is every one of those people going to accept my friend request? No. That's the reason why I do it on a consistent basis. Okay? Then the next thing is, and I'm going to introduce this magic script that I'm going to show y'all on Friday, then I take them, for those that accept my friendship, then I have a conversation with them. I find out what's happening in their world. I introduce myself. I don't come straight to business. I'm going to lead them through a process that they will be able to, I can point them to someone or something, right? And then sometimes it does not go, the conversation doesn't go anywhere. So what happens is that they go onto my page. Then my post starts selling for me because I'm using a curiosity factor. I use an RVLT formula that we'll cover in the content marketing day. And it is results, value, testimony, and lifestyle. Okay, I do an 80-20 mix of that, heavily on the value and the lifestyle. I actually have a schedule for my students to follow every week, where it's Tip Monday or Tip Tuesday, you know, Wacky Wednesday, Business Thursday, Follow Up Friday. Okay, so it gives them, my students, the ability to follow a schedule without them having to come up with what they need to come up with. Okay, so that's what I do on a daily basis. So I reach out to people, I have conversations, and then I try to get them to either join my group, get on my waiting list, or I actually present my business opportunity to them on a daily basis. And I usually spend about 2 to 6 hours on a given day actually prospecting. The rest of the time, I am meditating, I am studying, I'm doing research, I am doing personal development, I am prospecting, I am closing sales, and then I'm also teaching on a regular basis too. So I have a lot of things going on, but the scheduler is my best friend. And when I moved into that structured type activity, that daily activity, that's when I started getting traction, because I set me a daily routine that I could follow, that I was consistent on it on a daily basis. And then over time, then I start building up my pipeline. Okay. And that's the whole purpose of getting traction with the organic marketing strategy, because if you post something and then you've gone away for 3 or 4 days and then you come back and then you're not and you're surprised when you don't have any engagement on your videos or your post or something like that. That's the reason why, because people again have a very short attention span. Okay, they want to know that you're around, even if it's in the back of their mind. Okay, and so there are some tricks that I'm going to show you on how to use that follow-up system into your marketing plan, because even though I'm very active on this way, I'm also reconnecting with the people that are on my page on a daily basis. I could actually have about 100 to 150 conversations on a daily basis. But I'm okay with that schedule. Okay, most people may not be okay with that. And that's the beauty of setting a schedule that you can follow and you know, you're comfortable with. But I can tell you this, until you actually push yourself out of that comfort zone, you will not get traction. It really helps. When I get that heart beating where it's, I have those, like, oh my God, I'm scared to death of doing something. And I push past that fear, then I realize that I really am accomplishing something. And then every time that I push past that fear, then it gets easier and easier for me to move and do it. I never dreamed a year and a half ago that I would be doing a webinar or teaching on a daily basis. And here I am, And so it's the drive that I have inside of me of fulfilling my mission, because I shifted in my mindset and I have been blessed. And this is one of the things about your branding, guys. Okay. And if y'all have not read this book, I would recommend it, and I'll drop it into here. It's called You Are a Badass. Okay. If y'all not listened to that, right? Okay. It really talks about, having that drive and having a plan to follow and not worrying about if you're doing it right or wrong. You just follow that path. And one of the things that it talks about is that God has given you all types of talent, gifts. Okay. And when you move into that mindset where you have a God-given right to grace somebody with this information, and it's your mission and your privilege to go on this mission, that's when it's all changing. You're not concerned about you, then you're starting concerned about them. Okay. And the one thing that I stress and I focus on in my mentorship is that it's nothing about you as a seller in the recruiting phase. Okay. I don't talk about my business, and I don't talk about my company or my program until I already got some information from you first to see if there's a need. Because then I'm not shoving my product down or my services down anybody's throat. So the process that I use is a very laid back system and a very low pressure, but it still gets the sales. Okay. And so I really like teaching that area of being able to, bring people and recruit in that. And when you understand that, then once they become your customers and they're your paying customers, then that's when your role changes to a teaching mode. That's when it's all about what I can give your information, what I can pour where I can help you move into the next phase. But see, one of the problems with presenting your opportunity is that we go into a teaching phase before they even pay us. Okay. And a lot of people want stuff for free. And if you give everything away for free, and then at the end of it, then they don't take action, or, they just don't move on, then you've got to reevaluate your process. Okay. How are you talking with these people? Are you giving so much? Because free is good. Don't get me wrong. It's a great lead magnet, right? For free opportunities. But when someone's able to pull out their credit cards, even for $1, okay, they're committed. And when they buy something, they own it, and they usually turn around and use it because they feel like that it's, they purchased it, they need to get the best benefits out of that. So that's one of the issues that sometimes where I struggled with in the beginning, about where I was giving everything away. Right. And so that's part of your branding is you're growing into your leadership role. Okay. Did that help? I know I went off on a tangent here. I tend to do that sometimes, don't I, guys? So I want to open it up, guys, because I did cover this pretty fast tonight, because I know we went over a little bit last night. I don't know if y'all are okay with being over an hour. I try to because I know that your time is very valuable, and I try to pack as much as I can in the hour. Okay, but I do want to open it up to see if y'all understand the process of branding. Could we maybe help you with your process of coming up with your brand or your story or something like that? Yes, come on. Okay.
I have a question about the different personalities. So how do you, or where would you get information as far as what a yellow personality type is, or blue, to be able to tailor your message
Okay.
to a language that they understand?
Okay, so I watched a YouTube channel today that they do offer a $40, I believe it's $49 or something, like $39 cassette tape that you can actually, go further into details if you wanted to do that. But that's where I'm getting my information. Plus, I'm going through a little mentorship program myself on organization. And that's where they introduced me with the colors. And I can actually drop that link that I watched. It was one of them was TED Talk. About the minds where you're, the yellow and the green is on one, and the blue and the red, and the polar opposites and stuff like that.
Right.
So I'm discovering it too, more in depth also. But I'll gladly share.
Okay.
Because I was very surprised because I could have swore that I had more reds in my team, and to come to find out it was more yellows and greens. So my goal as a marketer is to attract more of the reds, because I'm looking for those that are ready to max out their payment plan, ready to kick it up a notch, because one of the things with the yellow people, their personality, is that they have to know everything that it is to know about it before they move forward. Okay. And so, the reds are one of those that take action, they take that leap of faith, and they get busy with it. Right. So as you're trying, because I'm the highest paid affiliate in my particular company at this particular moment, I want to even max that out even more. So I'm wanting to adjust my marketing to attract more reds so that I can have a bigger team. So it's all in the marketing plan that you can lay out.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Another question? Anybody? Come on, Angel. You can come out.
And I am a red, and until recently I thought everybody was red. I knew that you would like that, Jennifer.
Yes.
Think the way that I do as a red. We need to get stuff done. We're assertive. We don't have to think it all the way through. Let's just get this done.
That's it.
So
I mean, I started a class and I didn't even have the PDFs ready. I had to get them together on the weekend.
Yeah. But we need the balance of the other colors.
We do.
So
luckily my husband is a blue and a green.
My husband's a yellow.
Okay, see, so you balance.
Yes. He thinks that I'm a little over the top, but yes.
Exactly. And you don't understand why they don't get it either, do you?
No, that's what I was saying. I think everyone should just think the way that I do. So this is good, because now I'm expanding that.
Exactly. And when you build that bigger team, you will understand why it's so important to have those different colors, because you can tailor your message to actually helping the individual as a team. Because, for me, that's my primary goal, is to help others be successful along this path. I know that eventually the income's going to come to me. That's the least of my worries, because I know I'm making a difference in the world. So my priority and my mission is to create leaders for this industry to understand this market, because I got so frustrated and almost quit this dream because I didn't understand it. Think about if I would have quit a year and a half ago, where I would be. I'd be sitting behind the wheel of an 18-wheeler somewhere, wondering if Paul was going to be home okay. And I couldn't stand that. But because I took that leap of faith, because I am the red, and because I was not a quitter, and I had one of my mentors told me that if I didn't get busy with it, I just needed to go get a job. And I said, oh, heck no, I'm going to prove you wrong, buddy. So I enjoy a challenge. But, so that's where you got to get in your own mindset, your own determination. And, don't let anything or anyone steal your dreams, because it's so important to live that. God wants us to live a fruitful and prosperous life, and He will provide all of that to you if you only ask the universe to provide it.
Yes.
And get out of your way for it to come. That's the hardest thing sometimes for me, is to get out of my own way.
Well, when you said earlier that we must put a price tag on it, otherwise the universe will bring us poor people, I just laughed out loud. Like I couldn't stop
You've
laughing.
experienced it, right?
Oh, I experience it still. And after today, I'm stopping that. Because I do but I just want to help everybody.
That's
so
right.
I'm here to help. So I guess if you can't afford it, then I'll help you and hope that the next person can. But you are right. I've made that huge mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I struggle with really pinning down the target market. And I don't know why I'm really struggling there, but you talked about that some of us are going to really struggle with really pinning it down. Mm-hmm. And that is my big struggle. I doubt that I'm alone with this.
No, you're not. That's the reason why, this is the reason why I'm so adamant about what I'm teaching, is because you're not alone. There's tons of people that talk about this. All the gurus talk about it, but do they share this? Not unless you pay them $15, $20, $30, $40, $50,000. Okay? I'm not put on this earth to charge that kind of money yet. Maybe in the future.
Maybe you've got to put your price tag on it.
Well, my price tag is raising up as we go, right? Due to volunteers like yourselves to come in and help me with my own product making. Like I said, I'm in a beta test, but I guarantee you that by the end of 6 months, I'm going to be on a completely different realm than what I am now, simply because I've implemented a daily action plan and I keep to a schedule. Okay. I have a visualization that I do for 30 minutes every day, and it is an action-oriented visualization. Okay. I'm actively telling myself that I can create anything. I am a quick study. I rise to the top. I attract like-minded, action-oriented, coachable people. I have a number that I set every day, and then I check my numbers at the end of the week. And I was floundering all over the place until I actually started treating my business like a business versus a hobby. Mm-hmm. Because I was just kind of going through my day, whenever somebody wanted to reach out, I would drop everything regardless of what I was doing, and I'd focus on that. And then I got to the point where I wasn't focusing on anything. Okay, so I started doing the schedule. So I wake up every morning at 6 a.m., usually a quarter till, because I have that in my visualization. Believe it or not, 5 weeks ago, I slept until 9:30 in the morning. Every day. Every morning. But when I started putting this visualization that I have instant energy at 6 a.m. and I am doing my visualization at 10, guess what? The alarm clock would not open, set. I would not set an alarm. Okay. I spent way too many years living by an alarm clock. So I told my mentor, I said, if this is going to work, it better work mindset, or I'm not going to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. He told me, he said, trust me, it will. And guess what? 2 weeks after I started doing it, I started waking up at 5:45. I can't explain it. Even when I'm dead tired, I still wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to get up and do something. Okay? So I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I usually drink my coffee because I'm not a morning person. I usually drink my coffee for about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Then I read. I read for 2 hours. Okay? And I'm reading something on the market. I'm reading something on how to improve my skills as a mentor, as a leader. I'm looking for value. I'm looking for something to help me along this process. At 10 o'clock, I do my visualization for 30 minutes. Then I do Tai Chi and Pilates for the next 30 minutes. At 11 o'clock in the morning, I come on duty. And that's how I start my day. I have a schedule from 11 to about 2 that I prospect. Then I shift gears to do a project, or either usually from 2 to 4. And then if I have appointments, then I adjust my work schedule around them. And then I work until, about 10 o'clock sometimes mainly about 8 o'clock. But see, I'm taking breaks throughout the day of doing projects. And when I'm finished with all my projects, I'll go back to a 6-hour week. I mean, a 6-hour day. So that could be 3 months down the road. But right now, because I'm in this beta phase and I'm in this product launch, I'm going to work 14, 15 hours a day because it's important to me to do this. Again, you tap into that why. Why are you doing this? My dream is to be on a stage to present this as a keynote speaker in front of thousands. That's my mission. And guess what? That's in my visualization. I've been working for 2.5 years to get to that point of being on stage. And now, because of what I've done with my company, they're recognizing me and they're looking for a female live presenter here in the United States. And guess who's going to try to fill that role? Okay. And so that's what I'm saying is that I would have never dreamed that opportunity would have come along. It just happened because I got out of my way. I've been talking this talk for the last 2 years that I want to be on stage. I want to be on stage. I want to be on stage. I want to do this. I've had this dream. I just could not figure out how I could do it. Now, not everybody's dream is to get on stage. Don't get me wrong. That may not be your dream. Your dream may just to be very comfortable in your life and have, a residual income that's coming in. That's okay. That's the reason why we have our own dreams, hopes, and desires. But my point is that if you can see that destiny, okay, and then you have that mindset, you make that path, and then you focus on the destination, the universe makes that path possible. Because there's several different ways. Just an example, okay, you probably have a local city that lives, that is close by. The closest city from us is about 35 miles away. There's plenty of different ways to get to Magnolia. This is the little city. There's 1,500 different ways. They're still going to end me up over at Magnolia with whatever direction that I take. Okay, so I know my destination. Okay, this visualization is helping create that path somehow, some way. I don't know. It's beyond my pay grade. I'm a believer in it. But it wasn't until I got my mentor and actually had that guidance that had been there, done that, knew that if I follow suit that I would follow and that he would lead me to the promised land. To me, this is my promised land and it keeps going. And that's where you need to get to. So really deep down, look at yourself. You're your perfect customer. You know your desires. You know your hopes. You know your fears. You know your struggles, your frustration. Okay? And being part of that brand that's part of you. Your job is to tailor it into a pretty little package to be relatable to somebody to be attracted to you. And hopefully by the end of this week, you'll have a better understanding of that. So tomorrow, we're going to be talking about storytelling and actually how to eliminate those beliefs with that big domino effect, you know, so that you can move someone from your, you know, the character and your desire, and then you're going to build an epiphany, the aha bridge. I'll probably do it like that. The aha moments, okay? I was fixing to struggle. I was fixing to have to go back to that job. I had the epiphany, aha moment. I figured that my path was on this journey and I'd stayed on this path. That's a story that is relatable to people that are on this journey. So again, when you're turning that inward eye on yourself, where you're aware of what's around you and your strengths and weaknesses, do not be afraid to share those weaknesses because it makes you real. You're human. People want to connect with that emotional bond with you. Okay? So, you know, really dig deep. Go back to the PDFs yesterday. Has anybody changed or looked at their Facebook page to about changing it with the Canva?
I did.
Good. Awesome job.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good. It's very easy and it's very quick. And it'll be, you know, one thing about it is that, you know, people are tied to your emotions. If you're feeling something that particular day, express it. I bet you somebody else in your audience is feeling the exact same thing. That's how you relate to people. And that could be even changing your banner to give your awareness that you've updated something. But mainly it's your post, or either start talking about it. Now, your job when you're talking with people is to stay on a positive note, but be empathetic with them when they're going through their struggles. Okay, your job is to be that beacon of light at the other end. You empathize with them that they're in struggles, but you don't want to stay at that point with them. You want to enlighten them, help them cross over that struggle, that frustration. And sometimes it's about asking them a little bit more about them. Tell me what's going on with you. Tell me more about that. Those words right there, those 4 little words, really, tell me more about that. 6 words, 6 letters. That will give you an unlimited amount of money. Really, tell me more about that. People love telling you stuff. Most times all they're doing is looking for somebody to listen to them, to sympathize with them, to show them a better way. Okay. So any questions, guys? Man, y'all are excellent students, guys. I'm so proud of y'all. All right, guys. Well, if y'all don't have any more questions or anything like that, we shall see y'all tomorrow night.
Jennifer, before we go.
Yes, sir.
It's Jacques here. Jennifer, now with all these colors, thinking back a couple of years ago, when I was with an old M company, they gave us a session there. It's the way you talk to the different colors. I'm a yellow, very, very on that side. And the guy was saying that if you want a red, they're always on the go. You've got to speak to them with a different way, because they're more business orientated and they always want things done now. Those are the ones that are the up and go people. And it's to try and get all that wording together, even with the blue and the green and all that. And to try and remember all that stuff that gets me at times.
Well, one of the two questions that this particular YouTube channel that I watched today will determine for these two questions, what do you do for a living? Because these particular things, they categorize people by their occupation. So if they're a nurse, or they're in that healthcare, or they're a teacher and stuff like that, they're going to talk a certain way. And when you ask them what their occupation is, then that gives you a clue, okay? And then the next question out of that is really, do you enjoy that? Do you enjoy what you're doing? If they're happy with it, then they'll say, yeah, I enjoy what I'm doing, but I may want this. Or they say, oh, hell, I can't stand them kids. I wish they would have something else to do, right? If they're a teacher. And so those two little questions will actually discover what kind of color that they are. And it works better if you're actually talking with them on person, because it is a little hard over the texting, right? To get the feel of the person. And so that's the reason why we ask them what do they do for a living? Okay, that's one of my biggest questions. That's when I shift into prospecting mode, is that I've already built that bond, and then I'm going to say, what do you do for a living? Really, do you enjoy that? How's that working out to you? Is that your passion? Do you see yourself doing anything else? Because see, some people are afraid to ask those hard questions, but I'm telling you, if you ask those hard questions, you're going to actually get answers. And if they don't want to give you them answers, then they're not your right fit. Ain't no big deal. One of the things that yellows struggle with is being accepted, and the process of it, about if I tell you something and you don't jump on board, you start analyzing what you've done wrong. Is that right? Somewhat?
No, not with me.
Not with you?
It's like asking for a cup of coffee. No, I don't want coffee.
Uh-huh.
I'll move on. It doesn't really faze me. If they don't want to jump on as well, yeah, some people have still got to carry on working. So let them carry on. I'll go and find someone else. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's different.
Yes. So let's see. Let's do more green. Let's do a yellow. So let's see what a yellow is. Teachers, nurses, and a counselor, they're soft and gentle. So really, when you're talking with someone, if somebody's a yellow, then they're kind of soft-spoken, they're gentle, they're very passionate, like that. So when you're talking with them, you want to match them. It's basically where you're matching those, right? And, some of their strengths are they're dependent, they're team players, right? If you get the yellows right, they're ambitious. They want that team support, right? They also like structure, okay? They dislike pushy people and bullies, right? Conflicts, they hate conflicts. They all want, it's about peace, right? They move away from that conflict, but they like to be part of a team, right? So then if you are prospecting maybe a red, when these could be attorneys, airline pilots, CEOs, they're politics, they're cops, they are like, they're very forceful. If you pick a red up, if you're calling a red up, what are they going to do? Say, when somebody calls me, hello, this is Jennifer, what's up? I'm going to talk just like that. I'm not a forceful, but my volume is up. I'm like, come to the point. Come on, let's talk about this. What you calling me about? Let's go and get to the point. But so, you talk to them a little bit different, right? Because of their occupation, you kind of, and I'll drop it into the chat, Diana. Don't worry. I'll drop all this into the chat, right? So, that's how you're talking to them. Okay, when you're talking to let me get the blue people, okay, they're loud and fast, but they're all about having fun too, right? So you talk to them, but these are salespeople. These are a lot of the salespeople. They're very driven, but they don't want to do it themselves. They want to dictate what they want others to do. They're good at mediating, right? But it's all about fun. If they're not having fun, they don't want to do it. And they don't like facts and figures, right? So I'm not going to talk to them about, the compensation plan or something like that. I'm going to be talking about the benefits of the program, okay? So it's just little keywords that you pick up. So let's do a green. And by the way, guys, 75% of the population is green and yellows.
Really?
Really. 15% is only is only red and blue.
So very rare.
Yep. So the green people are very soft spoken and they're polite. They're polite. Yes. Can I help you? Yes. Can I help you? Whatever you need, right? So you want to match them. These are the accountants. There are engineers. They're the researchers. They're the numbers people. They got to have analytics. They have to have the why. They like charts and graphs. So they don't like people that are pushy, and they don't like facts. But they're being sometimes that they run late all the time, and they have a tendency of being a lazy person. Okay. Yeah. you hear my husband back there. He's a green blue, very, very green blue. So when you understand that, that's going to help you communicate with them. I don't know if I answered your question. Probably did not, but it's just little nuances that you pick up on because you're aware of it. And then if you're not aware of it, then stop and pause and ask yourself the question, then why is it making you uncomfortable? Analyze the reasoning why it's making you uncomfortable, and then you can understand that trait. Or people around you. I bet you can name a couple of people that can fall into those categories, different ones. And I can name team members that can fit right into those categories. And when I realize that is how I talk with them, how they learn. It makes a big difference when you're talking with people and you're trying to help someone move to the next level. So you need to understand the deeper psychology when you start building a huge team, because it's going to affect your dynamics in your team, because you're going to have some that like conflict, some that don't. Okay. You're going to have to talk with a group a certain way versus another way. Me personally, I do better with one-on-one because I can match those people. But when you gather some people in a group, it's hard to be relatable to a mixture of the company, the colors, right? So I can pick up where I need to actually reach out a little bit further to these people, because I can see that deer in that headlight type look when I'm having team meeting, because I do analyze people when I'm talking about it. Hint, that's the reason why it's making me a better marketer, because I'm constantly analyzing what I'm doing, what I'm saying, what actions does it evoke.
Okay.
Okay. So like I said, I'll drop all these colors and that in the text so y'all can play around with it. Like I said, this is just interesting to me, how this all works. And again, guys, we're going to be talking about storytelling tomorrow. So think about your story. Okay.
I know your story.
All right. So bring them out, bring them with you so we can maybe help you refine it a little bit to help bring your message across, because that's my whole goal, guys, is for y'all to actually learn something that you can utilize in your marketing business to make you better at this. Because if I don't do that, I've failed as a teacher. and you know, I take my job serious. That's the reason why I ask for the reviews at the end, because I do want to know good, bad, or indifference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, there's nothing else. I will see y'all tomorrow night. All right. Y'all have a wonderful night. Talk to you later.